So this is where I left you guys last week with the rear axle kind of on the car. The rear mountings of the leaf springs were okay, they were on the car, they were fine, but the front mountings, well, they were giving us quite a hard time. Now, I came in here with my father a few days ago and I fixed the front mountings and they are now solidly on there. Everything is fine when it comes to the leaf springs, but everything else still needs to be done. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to fit these straps on. I'm going to connect the links with the shock absorbers and the rear axle as well. Going to remount the drive shaft to the rear axle, so we have a drivetrain again, and then normally everything should be fine from that point onwards. So this is a very exciting day. This is one of the biggest steps for this car to be back on the road. So yeah, this is, as I said, it's very exciting, and I'm going to walk you through what we did last week, and then I'll show you what we're going to do today as well. So over here we have the drum brake, and then here we have the leaf springs. Now, as I just said, these back mountings were fine, nothing wrong with that, but it is the front ones which were giving us trouble, but they are now, I'll replace the light, they are now fine as well. They are solidly on there and they are not going to give me trouble anymore. Now today these straps need to go on, the drive shaft needs to be mounted, which is right there in front of the axle housing. And then a few other smaller things as well, like the handbrake mechanism and other small things. But right now I am very, very happy with how this is looking. It might be difficult to see on camera, but it looks like new under there. And that, well, after all those hours of work, that feels very, very good. And if you look from back here, the view is, well, very, very nice as well. I quickly took the liberty of painting these parts. It's not the best paint job, but it has a little bit of protection, and it would be a kind of sad sight to have dirty old parts go on freshly painted and rebuilt brakes. So yeah, this is next. rests me now is to connect this, the shock absorber link, with like the mounting plate down here. And then I think I'll need to check, I'll need to do a final check, but I think everything is then done here on the rear of the car. Okay, so the last part is going to be to mount the rear axle. I put the bolts in already. So yeah, let's see how this goes. This is probably one of the worst parts. There's like one irritating, difficult way to put this on. You have very little room here, and then it's just a case of perseverance and sore arms, basically. But yeah, we have to power through, I guess. These are some disassembly notes that I took when I removed the rear axle. Kind of made a plan of how I did everything so that I could do it in the reverse order when putting everything back together. And I just read everything, and it seems that everything is all right. The rear axle is fully on there. And what I would now like to do is do a small test. Now, remember, there is no exhaust on the car, so the car is going to be very loud. Ideally, I would love to let the engine and gearbox and rear axle run for 15 to 20 minutes, check for leaks, make sure that everything has been at least a little bit warm before I take the car on the road again. But that will be something for in a few weeks when there is a new exhaust on the car. But for now, I can run the car for like a minute and check if everything just works. So that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, I'm happy everything works. I'll let it go for a few more minutes and then we'll cut it off. As you can see, or as you can hear in comparison with my voice, it's pretty loud. I'm annoying the neighbors. Well, I'm annoying the hell out of the neighbors right now. Yeah. That is going to be it for today and for this part of the rebuild. The rear axle is back on the car. It is fully working. I am very, very happy. Next episode, we're probably going to get the new exhaust, put it on the car, and then we can do a proper test of the rear axle. Because as you heard, this is very, very loud, and I don't even want the car to be running for that long in order to test the rear axle, because I don't really think it's safe without any headers on it or anything. So with the new exhaust on there, it's going to be much better. We can finally do the real test of the rear axle and see if everything holds up. For now, everything was completely fine. There were no issues. But then again, I want to do a little bit more of a thorough test. Thank you very much for watching in the meantime, and I'll see you in the next one.